Now, earlier today at Star Wars Celebration at the Mando Plus panel, we got a teaser trailer for Ahsoka, oddly enough. Now, it's not a trailer you can find online officially, but it is a trailer you can find online if you look hard enough. And I have seen it. My wife, who I'm doing videos all weekend long with on this channel and on our other channel, we've seen it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to try to break it down for you. And again, you can find it out there, but we're not going to be able to show any images. The YouTube, Disney and YouTube, not very happy about this thing being out there. So sorry, we are only going to be able to describe it. But let's dig right in. How does this thing open up?
So the first thing we're seeing is a Twi'lek from behind who looks a lot like Hera.
Hera Syndulla from Rebels. In fact, this whole trailer pretty much gives us Rebel vibes. And we've been saying it kind of for a while that Ahsoka might kind of be a sequel to Rebels. There was rumors out there for a while that Rebels was going to get a sequel series. Everybody thought it was going to be animated, and it's really, after this trailer, not to get too far ahead, really looks like this is kind of just going to be a sequel to Rebels, at least at first. I think it might eventually branch out, but certainly everything about this trailer is saying Rebels, and let's get,
Even during the panel, they wheeled a chopper out there and said that he was going to be in it. Just like, he was in Rogue One, he's going to be
briefly
in
in Rogue One, yeah. He
Very
kind of rolls
briefly.
by and grumbles, which is what he does best, so.
Next shot is what looks like just some shots of the Ghost.
Yeah.
Some establishing shots that look very much like the Ghost that I can remember.
Yeah, again, it looks a little different in live action, but that's going to be the case.
Absolutely. Next shot, a Mark IV droid that looks very similar to a droid from the Clone Wars.
Huyang. It looks like almost exactly like, maybe a little cleaner version of Huyang. Huyang looked a little more...
Huyang, the color looks different. He looked more like
he was like a browner or bronze color in Clone Wars.
Bronzy,
so either this is either Huyang all dressed up.
He got that oil bath.
No, but I mean, this is either Huyang or a different droid of the same type. I mean, maybe Huyang. I can't, off the top of my head, think of what happens to Huyang in Clone Wars. I mean, they could dig him up. I mean, because there's another shot in here that is a hand reaching out like towards a cup or something, and the cup kind of shakes like it's kind of someone's trying to force pull it to him.
If they casted David Tennant, we'll know we know.
Yeah, if we know David Tennant's voice is in this.
Yeah.
And even still, they could still use the same voice, I suppose, even if it's not Huyang. But I mean, if this is a Jason Syndulla, the son of Hera and Kanan, and he is in this, and maybe he needs
a smallish hand reaching out towards a cup, maybe trying to grab her with the Force. Yeah.
So could Huyang be somehow teaching young Jace, even though Ahsoka is going to be around?
That could even be why maybe the Ghost team seeks her out, or when she visits Sabine, they're kind of like, hey,
Yeah, this could all... Though you'd think they'd all want to search for Ezra, right? I mean, we know Sabine and Ahsoka are definitely all in on the search, right? We see that at the end of Rebels. And Hera is doing quite a bit with the New Republic. We've seen that in their other sources of canon. We know she's been in games, she's been in books, she's been everywhere kind of doing things. So
he could be starting to show, and maybe she's going to now seek out Ahsoka for teaching, for tutelage.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to enroll him in Luke school. All right, next shot, we are seeing Ahsoka kneeling and touching some old runes that are on the ground, some etched runes into the ground. They kind of remind me a little bit of the temple from A World Between Worlds. They're very similar to that design that surrounds the border on her logo as well.
Yeah. Something we've seen kind of before in Lothal, something we've seen with The World Between Worlds. Yeah, so who knows exactly what this is. It looks pretty ancient again. So is this a similar temple to the one on Lothal? Is it Lothal?
It could be the temple on Lothal.
I mean,
remnants of it.
Does she think Ezra has gone somewhere, quote unquote, else entirely? I mean, that's kind of one possibility I've always thought is the Purgils are going to take him somewhere in some distant part of the galaxy, or maybe they take him somewhere intentionally to somewhere where he is wanted to do something. He has this great connection with the living force. He can communicate with these creatures. So maybe there is some bigger purpose Ezra is supposed to fulfill, and the Purgil somehow know about it. I know it sounds a little silly, but who knows?
Ezra, friend of the Purgil.
He is very much a friend of the Purgil.
Right, the last thing we see from the trailer is we see the mural that we saw from the end of the Rebels finale. Beautiful, beautiful mural. And Sabine walking up to it. Well, it's not exactly the last shot. We also see Ahsoka take her hood off. And it kind of reminds me a lot of the very finale of Rebels where Ahsoka approaches Sabine standing at the mural. Ahsoka takes her cloak off to reveal herself. So, I mean, very, very interesting that they kind of look like maybe the show might open where Rebels ended.
I think so. I mean, a lot of questions are around when exactly does Mandalorian season 2, the episode with Ahsoka, when does she kind of interrogating that, we see her go to this planet and she meets Mando and she's, looking for Thrawn. Is that before or
Yes.
after she meets with?
100% before.
How do we know?
Because her Leku looked longer in this series, and at the end of Rebels, her Leku looked a bit longer.
I think that's just an aesthetic choice because fans really complained about the length. I don't think that proves when is first or second because they're going to be longer earlier anyway. If you go to look at her in Rebels, they were longer. So I think that's purely an aesthetic choice, not something you should be looking at as a clue.
No, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, first she finds the clues of where Ezra's gone. Then eventually she's now going to go and travel to visit Sabine and be like, let's go find Ezra. I have a clue now.
Yeah, but she might, we don't know where Ahsoka has been before that. Ahsoka might just come back and be seeking out Sabine, and Sabine immediately tells her last time we saw him was with Thrawn, and then Ahsoka's like, well, let's go find Thrawn, or she knows somehow that Thrawn is back. So, and even Filoni has said things you have seen don't necessarily happen in a linear fashion in regards to all this. So we don't know when Mando Season 2 is in relation to the end of Rebels. We don't know which one came first. And you could be right. It could be that, the Ahsoka series will literally open with that same shot from Rebels. I don't think so, only because, newer fans, those who haven't seen Rebels and haven't seen Mando, I guess, they're not going to kind of understand what's going on. So you might want to do some more establishing than just kind of throwing them right into the middle of this story they're not going to understand.
But at the same time, starting right there gives people who maybe don't know what's going on some intrigue. They're like, oh, well, we see a girl standing at a mural and she's like, let's go do this. And then they can establish, do some talk about what had happened so that fans can catch up.
Could be.
We did also get some confirmation that Natasha Louis Bordizzo is indeed playing Sabine. Chopper will be in the show. Filoni is directing a handful of episodes. Peter Ramsey from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is directing at least one, and there could possibly be other directors involved.
Yeah, we don't know how many episodes this is going to be.
No, we don't have any information, just that it's coming next year with Mando Season 3. They're both next year, 2023.
Yeah, well, we did get a release date on Mando Season 3, February, right?
Yes.
So this I would assume probably spring, early summer next year.
Yes,
would make the most sense.
Especially if Andor is going to get if Andor season is next year, then he could be hitting the summer slot again or be pushed a little later.
Yeah, we don't know when Andor's, or it could be, it could even be another year, the way they're doing. We've had a big gap between Mando Season 2 and 3, so who knows what kind of gaps. Maybe they'll just start
recording next year. Who knows?
Yeah, because if it's already, they would pretty much need to already be filming it in order for it to be next summer.
So maybe they're going to start filming next summer.
Yeah, who knows? But no, I think this pretty much confirms the kind of the suspicions and rumors we've heard about this series, that it is going to be, it's essentially a continuation of Rebels, for better or worse. I know some people are not huge fan of Rebels. Some people didn't watch Rebels because, it's kind of a little more childish than, say, Clone Wars. But quite clearly, this is the Rebels sequel that we've heard rumored for a while now. All right, well, that's all we've got for you this time. So if you enjoyed this video, do check out my other channel. We do videos over there all the time, pretty much daily, at least one video a day, sometimes even more over there. So again, if you like this style of video, there will be a link to my other channel in the description below. But either way, leave your comments about this footage. Have you seen the teaser? What did you think of our description of it? Do you think this is pretty much just going to be a sequel to Rebels, or is there going to be a lot more to it? Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.